Hi there, this is Ten. Today, we'll be talking about how the stock market will react in August of 2021. Given the stock market has a rough and volatile July 2021, there could be a chance that the trend will continue in August. Moreover, the earnings season has just started and many investors are evaluating the progress made by the companies. So in today's video, we'll be talking about how the stock market might react in August. Before we continue, please smash the like button. And if you'd like to see more such videos, please subscribe to this channel. Firstly, we'll be talking about the reasons why some investors feel the stock market will continue much higher. The main reason why some investors feel the stock market will move higher is due to the release of earnings. Given that many companies are releasing earnings that are benefiting from the reopening of the global economy, these companies will post a huge growth rate. Furthermore, it is compared to a period where there's a huge drop in revenue in most companies. This will further stretch the growth rate of the companies. So if the management team continue to attract attention from the investment community, the stock price will rise, which will push up the overall stock market. An analyst said earlier in the earnings season, stocks of companies that beat expectations did not react, but now they are, and that should continue. The fact that a handful of biggest market cap stocks like Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet are reporting, which could have a huge impact in the stock market. Secondly, we were talking about the reasons why many investors feel that we will have a horrible August 2021. One of the reasons why many investors feel the stock market will go down in August of 2021 is the behavior of the market themselves. Stock ended the week with solid gains, but the bruising sell-off has left its mark. Some strategists say it could have been a warning sign for more turbulence later in the quarter. Stocks took their cue from a 10-year Treasury yield, which was falling on fears the Delta variant of COVID could slow global growth. The yield hit a low of 1.12% before reversing. As the benchmark's yield rose, stock rallied. Communication service, which includes internet names, was the best performing sector in the past week with a 3.2% gain. Tech was also strong, up 2.8%. Consumer discretionary was also a top sector, up 2.9%. Cyclical industries and material led with fractional gains, and energy was slightly lower. Scott Reeder, a chief strategy officer with T3Life.com, said the big tech names are doing well ahead of earnings, so it will be very important to see how they trade. The second reason why most investors pointed out the possible drop in August of 2021 is the aftermath of the Federal Reserve table talks held. Ben Jeffrey, the US rate strategist at BMO, said Treasury yields could find a catalyst in the Fed. He expected the 10-year to begin moving down again and said it could touch a low of 1.1%. The 10-year was at 1.28%. Strategists did not expect to see much new in the Federal Reserve statements. They await comments from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell for guidance on the central bank's move towards tapering back its quantitative easing program. The Fed is expected to announce that it's officially talking about winding down the program well before it actually starts. Many Fed watchers believe that guidance will come in late August as the central bank Jackson Hole Symposium or later in the fall. Slowing the bond program is important since it's a signal that the Fed is on the road to reverse its easy policies, including ultimately its zero policy rate. Tilly says the central bank will probably take a year to wind down its $120 billion a month in bond purchase, and then the door is open to rate hikes. Given that many growth companies have a huge boost due to low interest rates, when the Fed reverses its stance, it will send these stocks down huge. The third reason why most investors pointed out the possible drop in the spread of the Delta variant. White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said fully vaccinated people might want to consider wearing masks indoors as a precaution against the rapidly spreading Delta variant in the US. Some areas of the US are re-implementing mask mandates due to spike in case. The more transmissible Delta variant now makes up roughly 83% of subsequent COVID-19 cases in the country, according to the CDC. He also said US officials are concerned that they are seeing more breakthrough infections in fully vaccinated people in the US, even if there are mild cases. Variants have increased in transmissibility from the original strain, and some are proving to reduce the effectiveness of the vaccines. Virus don't mutate unless you allow them to replicate and spread in the community. You give them ample time and ample opportunity to mutate, and you have a new variant. Fauci said the easiest and best and most effective way that we can prevent the emergence of a new variant and crush the already existing Delta variant is to get everyone vaccinated. Local countries and private business may choose to enforce mask mandates as the Delta variant continues to spread in unvaccinated pockets of the country. Currently, almost two-thirds of people in the US have vaccinated less than 40% of the residents. Moreover, some local officials across the US are starting to reimpose COVID-19 mask rules. From Los Angeles to Massachusetts, local officials across the country are pleading with Americans to once again wear masks inside as the Delta variant whips through the US. Several countries across California and Nevada are now advising all residents to wear masks in public indoor settings, no matter if they're vaccinated or not. Local leaders in at least 3 more states have reinstated mask mandates, issued facial covering recommendations, or threatened the return of strict public health limits for all residents, in defiance of federal health guidelines that say vaccinated people do not have to follow those protocols in most settings. After months of falling cases, COVID infections are on the rise again in the US. New cases jumped by 55% since last week to an average of 37,000 new cases per day over the last 7 days, according to CNBC analysis of data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. The CDC on May 13 eased its COVID-19 guidelines on masks for fully vaccinated people, saying do not need to use them or practice social distancing in most settings. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky told lawmakers at the Senate hearings that the agency is actively reviewing its mask and other public health guidelines as the virus and pandemic evolve, especially as scientists learn more about the Delta variant and how vaccines hold up against it. So, what happened to vaccines' effectiveness on the virus? To the new variant, the virus started to bypass the vaccines and continue to infect a lot of people. Thankfully, there hasn't been an increase in the number of deaths. However, this puts many governments in a dilemma. They could not make use of not wearing a mask to entice citizens to take the vaccine. Hence, they need to find ways to entice citizens to take the vaccine. However, we're talking about how analysts feel about the Delta variant. CNBC's Jim Cramer said investors should keep a long-term focus on the US economic recovery, despite near-term concerns about a rise in COVID cases associated with the Delta variant. Quote, don't let all these worries freak you out. And quote, the Mad Money host said, quote, all the people who refuse to get vaccinated, they are a major problem for the country. But I'm betting they won't do that much damage to the stock market. End quote. Cramer labelled the country's current increase in COVID infections the Great American Snack. Instead, it caused some investors to be concerned about slowdown in economic growth. That is a major reason why bond yields have fallen this month to ridiculous low levels, he said. Finally, we'll be talking about how I feel the stock market will react in August of 2021. Due to the move made by the CDC in May, many Americans feel that the virus will not affect them if they get the vaccine. So some Americans decided to take the vaccine so that they don't have to wear a mask when they go out. However, this virus managed to infect them before they unintentionally passed the virus to those unaffected Americans. Hence, the US government have no choice but to reimpose the mask mandate again. This will cause the stock market to go down. In conclusion, I strongly feel the stock market will have a volatile period in August, but the trend would be going down. This is due to the spread of the virus which has bypassed vaccine production. And this led to the US government to reimpose curbs to prevent the spread of the virus. However, some vaccinated Americans have become accustomed to not wearing their masks. So the governments need to re-encourage people to wear their masks again. Hence, this could lead to a drop in the stock market in the short term. With that, thank you, have a nice day, goodbye.